Joining me now, Jeff Sessions, former Attorney General and now candidate again for the U.S. Senate in Alabama. Senator Sessions, what is your big takeaway from today?
Well, it's certainly, to me, I agree with Ken Starr. This is a very serious time for America. It does not appear to me that they have the kind of evidence that would justify going forward. I called it a show trial. What's a show trial? When you've decided the person is guilty and then you pretend to have a trial and for show. So this is the kind of thing that's, I think, concerning to a lot of people. The Constitution says impeachment is not anything Congress says it is. It says it's for a conviction of treason, bribery, high crimes, and misdemeanors. Those are restraining laws in our Constitution that restrains Congress, and they need to be faithful to their responsibilities. And fundamentally, I would just urge our Democratic members of Congress to think deeply about the future of this country, the danger to this republic that would occur if we continue to prosecute people basically because we don't like them or we have a political disagreement.
Senator, what more can members of the Republican Party serving in Congress today do for this president and for his agenda that they're not doing, perhaps? Not trying to criticize, but maybe a little advice of what they can do better or more to help this administration.
We have to take the case to the people, both on all the issues he's advocating, like ending illegality at the border, standing up to China, being more restrained in the deployment of American forces around the globe in hostile places. On this impeachment, I think they've got to speak out pretty aggressively and say, where's the beef? What is the charge? Does it meet the constitutional standards? And be open about that. I think we have a lot of members that are, so hopefully, but that message needs to be strongly put out there, and Republicans need to be confident that if the evidence does not support impeachment, they are perfectly safe, and it's the honorable thing to do. The only thing to do is oppose impeachment. Senator,
are you, in retrospect, when you look back on, we all look back on decisions we've made, are you glad you left the Senate to go work in the Trump administration? Are you glad that you made that decision?
Laura, I don't look back on those kind of matters. I made the decision I thought was right at the time. A lot of people think all we did was deal with Russia, but we had a tremendous revitalization of federal criminal prosecutions throughout the country, a revitalization of partnerships with our state and local allies. We stood up for religious liberty and issued a new policy. We helped the president appoint the best group of federal judges ever been appointed. We advanced his agenda. We reduced regulations. So there was so much that was done. We started a new group to intensify our efforts to prosecute frauds in the IT networks, and particularly China. So a lot of good things that occurred, and I had 15 years in the department. I knew a lot about it, and I feel like we did a good job. And now I have an opportunity to seek the Senate seat again, and I'll be pleased to ask the people of Alabama to give me that opportunity.
And if you could, the president occasionally watches this show. Is there anything you'd like to say to him tonight?
He didn't have a better supporter in the United States Senate than when I was there. I was his first supporter in the United States Senate. And if I go back to the United States Senate, he won't have a more aggressive, a determined supporter when I get back.
And, Senator, what do you say to those Republicans? And they're, you know who they are. We don't have to name them. Who say, well, this president he's not a real conservative. He's not really doing the conservative thing. He's not bringing the movement along. He's spending too much time on these side fights. What do you say to them?
I tell you, this president has moved a conservative agenda in a host of areas. He cut taxes. Isn't that conservative? He stands up for America first throughout the world. Isn't that good? Defending American manufacturing against cheating by China and other countries. Isn't that conservative and lawful? He's trying to defend our borders in a way that affects the rule of law in America. So I just think he's been conservative consistently to a degree I think very few people expected. But most importantly, he's been effective and faithful in what he promised. He told the American people what he would do. A lot of people doubted he would do it, but he's done it better than almost any president in my lifetime.
And Senator, I know he's had some choice words for you, mostly because of the Mueller deal and Rosenstein. He wasn't thrilled with that pick either. But do you think you'll ultimately get his endorsement?
I hope so. Certainly, I'm going to work for that, and we'll be seeking it. He doesn't always get involved in primaries, so I understand that. And he's indicated he probably would not in this one. But yes, I would love to have his support because I asked people first. I asked the people of Alabama and throughout the country to trust him, to support him. And I thought he was the one who could win. And if he won, I thought he would bring that drive, that energy, that will that's extraordinary to advance his agenda.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I was in Alabama over the weekend, and overwhelming support for you in the state of Alabama and your run. Senator Sessions, thank you for being with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Laura.
And